Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Defy Aging. I'm Coach Allison, and we are now coming into week 19. Also, new warm-up and cool-down begin this week. And next week in week 20, you have the next mobility week to look forward to. So all sorts of things coming our way. Okay, though, for this week, week 19, we're going back to circuits on the turf, rotating around. 6 stations for 4 rounds. Rounds 1 and 2 are going to be timed 40 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And then rounds 3 and 4 are going to flip-flop that and do 30 seconds on, 40 seconds off. So for the final 2 rounds, when you're a little more tired, it's less work time, but more rest time. I was feeling nice, I guess. No. Okay, so we have 6 exercises to demonstrate. I will jump right in with those. Okay, station 1 is a half kneel Palloff press. I have this in my pocket. That's really annoying. So since there are 4, this is a directional thing. We're facing sideways. So since there's 4 rounds, we're going to do, I'm getting ahead of myself. I should have maybe demonstrated it first, but whatever. We're going to do round 1 facing one way, round 2 facing the other way, and then round 3 back to this way, round 4. So we'll do 2 rounds facing each direction. This is such a cumbersome one to have to change in the middle, like halfway through. So we don't want to deal with that. We have a nice even number of rounds this week. Let's work it that way. So I'm in my half kneel position. Make sure this front leg is, where your natural hip gait would be. So we're not coming way out here like this. Bring the band tied up to your side. It takes a little, you might have to do a little like scooting forward or in or out to get a good resistance level with where the band, the tension of the band. Because a Palloff press, if you remember from, typically we do the standing. We're adding an added challenge with the half kneel, but yeah, it's this. So you need enough tension to be challenged, but not too much where it's too hard to do it properly. So you might have to do some scooting. But anyway, shoulders stay down, no shrugging. Try to not have them be crooked like this. So try to be nice and level. I know without a mirror, it can be hard to tell. And we go all the way forward, straighten your arms. As you can see, my arms are all the way straight, all the way. Bend all the way back in so your hands touch your chest. All the way forward, all the way back. It's slow and steady, not fast, not choppy. Anyone staying off the floor, exactly the same thing. However, we are in a staggered standing stance. So it keeps you off the knee, but it really adds the same stability, the same, you're good, you can come on. Same stability, same work in the core, and all of that is exactly the same. So 2 rounds each side. That's our half kneel Palloff press. Alrighty, station 2 is an alternating thruster. If you remember from 2 weeks ago, we had those racked squats. So the weights are palms turned in, weights are at shoulder height, and while we go down on the squat, we don't let those weights tip. So that's the racked squat. That's important to know because that's the starting position for the thruster. Okay, so everything is just like I said. We're going to alternate a press at the top of each squat. So let me just dive in and show you. Squat, press one side, squat, next rep, I'm going to press the other side. So we just keep that going. You want from coming down from the up to the up position with the press. Said that horribly. You want that to be nice and smooth. So what I mean is we're not going down, up, stop, and press. Instead, it's down and up and press, all nice and smooth together. Okay? So that is our alternating thruster, good combination of legs, core stability and strength, and shoulders. Okay, station 3A, it's called a rocking hip bridge. Okay. So we're down. Standard hip bridge is, we have it in our new warm-up. Is this, up and down, right? So for the rocking hip bridge, it's going to involve some ankle strength and mobility along with our, oh my goodness, excuse me, along with the actual hip exercise. So we are lifting and we're going to hold that so the hips stay up the whole time. Then pay attention to my feet. I'm alternating between being on my heels with the toes up and then being on my toes with the heels up. And we just do a slow, controlled roll from one to the other. And we're going slow. We're not doing something like this fast and choppy. Pause in each position for a moment. Now your hips are going to start to want to sink down like this. Keep them up there. So every once in a while, do a little mental check of where your hips are. Okay. Alternative for anybody not getting on the floor is a wall sit with that same rocking motion with the feet. So I'm going to sink into my wall sit, and then I'm going to do the same thing, toes heels, toes, heels. Annoying, a little annoying with that. Now my shoes are kind of loose because that's just the type of shoe oh wow, it's the type of shoe these are. Um, wow, it's Friday. So anyway, it kind of, your foot can push forward in the shoe a little bit and it might be a little uncomfortable. So make sure your shoes are tied nice and tightly. It shouldn't be a hindrance to the movement. It's just kind of annoying. So just keep that in mind. Okay, station 4, we got isometric bird dog. So we're on hands and knees. You want to keep a neutral neck when you do a movement like this. So what that means is right now my neck is nice and straight. This would be not straight, and drooping it too much would also be not straight. So keep that in mind, nice neutral neck. Bird dog, one arm forward and the opposite leg back. And for isometric, we are just holding this. We'll switch sides halfway through. So you'll have to hold this for 15 or 20 seconds, depending on what set we're on, what round. Halfway through, switch sides, hold. If you can, try to get the arm and the leg parallel to the floor. So we're trying to avoid, being down here. That does take practice and, a certain level of strength. So if we're not there yet, that's okay. Do your best. Also with the leg, since we can't see behind ourselves, sometimes our leg might be here and we don't really realize it. I want you to really focus on fully lengthening and straightening the leg to the best of your ability. Anyone not getting on the floor, we can do that same thing on an incline. Hands are on a bench, and then you do the same, exactly the same with the hands on the bench versus being on the floor. So we got something for everybody, but that's our isometric bird dog. Station 5, I believe we're on. A single arm farmer's carry. We've tossed these in now and then. I'm using a dumbbell. I'm going to let you decide if you want a dumbbell or a kettlebell. They're both good. They're both different. So the kettlebell has bottom loaded weight, so it's just pulling straight down. Dumbbell, you have to do a little more kind of balance, not really balancing the way we think of balance, but balancing this object, because we don't want it to be like this, tipping forward. We don't want it to be like this. So you do want to center your hand as best you can and have that balance, that balanced feel from front to back. Anyways, I'll let you choose your choice, what you like. Anyways, once you have it down, once you have your weight selected, shoulder down and back. So we're working on posture. We're not letting it round forward like this. And we just go for a nice, slow, controlled walk. Same thing as the Palloff press. We'll just do 2 rounds on each side, as opposed to, that way we don't have to worry about switching in the middle, because we do have the nice even 4 rounds this week. Alrighty, folks, last station is a mat hop over. And yes, we could just call them hop overs, but I wanted to put the word mat in there because I wanted to make it clear that we want a big target here for something to try to jump over. So we're using mats this time. There are other options. We'll go over those in a moment. So it's wide, both legs together, jump over. Make sure you land nice and soft. Okay, if you don't jump far enough and you hit the mat, that's okay. It's not going to break it. That's fine. That's it. And there should be minimal or zero tripping hazard with the mats too. So we are all good safety wise. But shoot for clearing that whole mat. Now that is a big jump and it is some impact. However, jumps like that are terrific for specifically bone density. Little quick side note, I do have another client who was recently diagnosed with scoliosis, and reducing the bone mineral density is getting worse over time. This person's physician recommended things like jumps and jumping jacks, box jumps, jumping down off of items, low enough to be safe. But anyway, because it is really good for our bodies in so many ways, our muscles and our bones. So assuming we don't have any pre-existing joint conditions that hurt. So try it. I want you to try the jumps. Now, if we are unable to do that full jump, not the distance, work on the distance. It's okay if you come up short on the mat, fine. But the physical jump. So we're going to switch it to more of a puddle hop where you switch the leg you're leading with, but you kind of do more of a one leg lead, and it's more of a I don't even know, a skip hop, but it's gentler. It's much gentler on the joints. Still going to get that cardio effect. Still going to get some nice impact, okay? And we can, if the mat is just too big of a target to jump over, we can put, I didn't get it ready because I actually just thought of it right now. We can put a resistance band on the floor. We've done this before. And we're shooting to hop over the band, okay? All right, that was kind of a long demo with a little side note in there. But anyways, I'm trying to really encourage and relay the importance and the benefits of jumps. So anyways, that is station number 6. All right, that is week 19, new workout for the week. Also, again, we are in a new warm up and cool down week. So this week we're going to forego a team builder finisher at the end because going through that new warm up and cool down does usually just take a little bit longer because we're learning so many new movements. So we're going to save that time and utilize that time for that instead of the team builder this week. Go resume with the finisher or team builder back with week 20. And like I said in the beginning, that'll be mobility week. So a lot of changes in these next couple weeks. Looking forward to that mobility week. See you guys then.